Music can take us to places where we feel loved and cared for. Music can bring us to a place of peace. If we can connect through music together, and maybe you've been restless or having a hard time, and suddenly that patient just kind of relaxes and settles in. And what that means is we've touched a place in them that makes them know they're loved and cared for and comfortable.
When I die, hallelujah, by and by, I'll fly away, fly away.
I was visiting a gentleman in a nursing home. He was alert and oriented, but he was bedbound and really was quite bored. And we would reminisce about times with his wife, who was deceased, and they had loved bluegrass music and had gone to fiddle conventions and things like that. And after a while I thought, well, should I disclose that I'm a musician and being in my social work role? And finally I said, well, I play fiddle too. And he said, well, are you going to bring it? And that was really the start. After that, we saw that need and started to develop the program.
And when the Hospice and Palliative Care of Cabarrus County came to us with this wonderful idea about integrating music into the care of the patients and the families, we really look for cutting-edge ideas that integrate music, other forms of arts, into other fields. And that was just a fabulous idea. It really recognizes the value and the power of the arts, and particularly of music in healing, both people who are actually on the road to recovery, but also those people who are looking for comfort in what they're going through.
In later years of life and during illness, music can be very effective, both for calming that stressful part of the nervous system, as well as just as a healing, to stimulate the healing response as well.
My mom, she was confined to a bed for over 3 years. And the only way she could escape that was through the music. I mean, the music took her to a time that she loved. I looked forward to Kathleen coming on her visits because I knew how much my mom enjoyed it, and seeing her smile made me happy. And again, it hit a special place in my heart. My mom liked the same songs, and Kathleen would ask her, and she would tell her the same songs every time she would sing. I'll Fly Away was her favorite song because that took her away. And she said she just wished she could walk. That was the main thing she wanted. And I think with the music, she was walking.
Grandma Ruth was with hospice for about 4 months. She was very resistant at first. But it was amazing after she became our patient and was blessed to have had both her chaplain and her social worker be involved in actually leading the interlude choir. It was amazing the transformation that happened. I went to her room and sang for her, and she just radiated. I mean, just absolutely loved it. And she raised her hands, and it was almost like she was reaching out for heaven. It was beautiful, absolutely beautiful. Even her last day, Kathleen had made a visit to her and had played the mandolin and had sang the songs that Grandma requested, and it gave her such peace, gave her absolute peace. And that night when I visited before she passed, she shared with me that Kathleen had been there and just what a godsend that visit had been to her. And she said, I'm good now, I'm good. And I think that was her way of telling us that she was ready to go.
When my father was dying of COPD, he was in for about a week, and we knew he was going through this process. We were all gathered around him, and we sang a lot. It allowed us to express our love for each other, and for my father, it allowed us to laugh because we would also sing some funny songs that we had sung as children. But music just reaches down deep inside, and it touches you in places that words by themselves cannot touch.
My own mother-in-law was on her deathbed and in a coma years ago, and I decided to go up and hold her hand and sing a song, and her breathing leveled out. It became very natural and it wasn't labored anymore. As long as I sang, she could breathe, and I knew right then that her spirit was listening to everything, and that is what prompted me to join the choir.
It's wonderful to be able to bring joy and peace and comfort to others, but when you are able to get that same joy and peace and comfort within yourself, it's a double blessing. And I love the fact that I'm able to do that with hospice.
I love singing with the interlude choir. I say that I blend. I'm definitely not a soloist. The Lord has blessed me with the ability to be able to blend very well. I love it. I think that I definitely get more out of it than I give. My cup is filled to the brim every time I sing with the interlude choir.
It touches me deeply to see that response. I think we've all probably had personal experiences ourselves with death, and it can be a frightening time. It can be a time when there are difficult memories associated with the decline that people experience. But what a wonderful transforming gift when you share a special moment with a family member in song at that time. I think it transforms the experience.
When the interlude choir was singing down here at the house, and nurses had said, this patient is getting ready to pass, kind of leave them alone. And we did our rounds and sang to anybody who would like us to come and sing at the bedside. And the patient passed, and the family said to the nurse, will you please have them come and sing now? And we sang that favorite hymn of that family member, and Angels Hovering Round. And that gift to us of a family saying, in the midst of our heartache, of sending somebody forward to heaven, we want you to come be a part of that. We want you to come help us with that in song. And to be invited into that sacred space by a family. That's not just heartwarming, that just fills you.